So it's about mid-April here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I live. And we've had a really long winter, lots of snow, rain, cold. And finally, we've been blessed with a week of beautiful sunny weather, temperatures in the 70s. It's been really delightful. I think unfortunately next week is supposed to be a little bit more dreary, but that's kind of typical for this area. The actual spring/summer doesn't really come until May. What I love about this time of year is all these little blooms starting to come up in the lawns, like little bluebells and little, what do you call them? Little violets. And then the daffodils are coming up. I haven't seen any tulips coming up the ground yet, but I'm sure they're coming up pretty soon. Crocuses. Now, mind you, all the trees are still bare. There's no leaves coming up. It's kind of a interesting contrast because you still have like the wintry bare trees with the grass getting greener and then all these little blooms coming up. Everything starts to come to life. The birds are a lot more active. You start to see bunnies running around. I live near a park, so there's a lot of wildlife. I saw a beautiful turkey roaming around a couple of days ago. So yeah, it's very inspiring when it comes to drawing botanicals for me and getting, closer to nature, getting back into the habit of walking barefoot outside. Even if it's just a little window into what's coming up, it's super exciting. So initially this week I wanted to do a composition of spring flowers. I don't know if you can see that it's a light sketch. I started with daffodils, some bluebells, hyacinths, some crocuses, and tulips. But then I got inspired by this book, which are plates of all kinds of plants from around the world, illustrated by Katie Scott. And I figured I would do something more like that. So I sketched another drawing which looks more like a plate. That's not a scientific illustration, but it will still look like that. So I have a tulip, a daffodil, a crocus, a pansy, and then some bluebells. And also this week I was going to use gouache. So I haven't used gouache in a long time. I used acrylic gouache recently, which is similar, except gouache is a water-based paint. I believe acrylic gouache has some polymers in it. And I recently purchased this set because I didn't have any just pure gouache. So we'll also be trying this. It's not sponsored by Caran d'Ache at all, but I seem to like this brand somehow. So here it is. So I'll be trying out this set, and yeah. So I'm gonna start with the tulip and then go from there. almost forgot to press recording. I was adding some final details with colored pencils because I used the gouache in very thin layers, kind of more like a watercolor. So it's still pretty transparent. Now, like I said, I haven't used gouache in a really long time, and I probably should take a class to kind of remember how to use it and use it properly. So I'm gonna finish this drawing, adding details in colored pencils because it's something I really enjoy doing lately. So here is the final drawing of each flower. I'm glad I added the colored pencil details because I feel it adds a lot more dimension to each flower and also some texture, which you don't get with gouache because it dries matte, so it's a very flat media. And since I'm very much a beginner at gouache, I don't have the skills yet to know how to add dimension with gouache. I'm sure there's techniques. Yeah. What would be fun next would be to scan this and either in Photoshop or Procreate on my iPad, I could add a digital background and kind of play with that. Thank you so much for watching this video up until the end. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite spring flower? Do you even like spring? Like, what is your favorite season? And yeah, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.